see in Gaza, the same fascistic language, the ability of monsters, as I call them, to turn people into animals. Because if you had gone to Israel 5 or 6 years ago and you had walked the streets of Tel Aviv, you would have seen, quote, normal, regular people, regardless of the fact of what you thought of their policies and politics. You would not look at them and say, 5 years from now, that man is going to be using babies for target practice. They're going to be throwing grenades. They're going to kill more journalists in 2 years than was killed in the preceding wars, including World War I, II, Vietnam, all the places in the world. No one could imagine that. So how does that happen? It happens because governments decide to dehumanize others, to get the general population to a point where they can say, oh, well, they're all bad. Killing them is the right thing to do. And how I killed them, the more brutal, the better. Maybe it'll teach them a lesson. Maybe they'll leave. But, that is what the anti-fascist war was about. The majority of people, over 84% of the people killed in China were not military. A lot of them were killed because, when the Japanese came, they looted everything. They took all the food. They took the medicines. And therefore, many people died because they could not get what they needed in terms of prolong their life, and they just couldn't eat. But many others, like in the rape of Nanjing, were forcibly killed. Practice. Women raped, children raped, killed. I mean, this was things. So you've got to ask your questions. If you went to Japan, you wouldn't look at them today and say, oh, these are the kind of people who would do that. So somebody did that, and that's fascism. That is the real danger in the world today. So why am I talking about this in terms of the militant parade? China was referred to as the sick man of Asia because it was easily conquered. We have a few hundred troops who marched into Beijing and burned the Summer Palace. Right? They were able to force drugs onto China because their thirst for tea was such that they didn't want to pay for it in silver anymore. So they dehumanized everybody, took what they wanted, killed. This was standard practice. And this wasn't just Japanese. The Japanese learned it from who? From the Europeans, from Americans. Take what you want, industrialize, have the better weapons. Guy with the better weapons wins. So what China was showing to the world is that it is capable of defending itself, that it will not be taken over by a bunch of drug runners who are intent on delivering poison to their people, nor will it be subjugated by some sort of imperial doctrine, whether it's from Japan or America, that will make their people subservient, make them less than human. So very, very different messages depending on which side you're on.